Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Welcome in. Welcome in. It's good to see everybody tonight. It is a little bit of an earlier live, so we'll give it a couple minutes, let people kind of come in and get settled in, and then sorry, my nose is itching. We'll get right to it. Of course, come on. Does that mean someone's talking about me or money? I don't know. One or the other. Usually means if your nose is itching. I wanted to get the chat put up so that way I can see you guys a little easier. We'll close this tab out. We'll make two of these. So we are going to read over some documents like we were doing last night. Some of them I may just kind of like paraphrase through. That way I don't have to say redacted every, couple of minutes. But it should be a good live. Should learn some new stuff about the case and everything that's going on with the case. So ISP, if you guys don't know, they went ahead and they put out 556 pages worth of documents. Well, I think it was today, Sunday, so it's Friday. Was it Friday? I guess it was. Seems like it was just yesterday, but we started going over them yesterday. Maybe they did come out Friday evening sometime. But let me get back to our spot because I was reading ahead. Okay. And welcome in, everybody. Hopefully you guys have seen on the like somewhere by now. But if you guys haven't, I'll tell you what's going on. So we were reading over the documents last night, and there's nowhere in the document that states that Brian Koberger said Kaylee's name and actually called her by name. I literally got off the live last night and I was like, like something, did I miss something there? Did I miss something we were reading? Because we read through all of it. It said that he directed his conversation. Like, that's not like the verbatim word, but that's what they meant by it. So in these documents, they're just like, they're humans. They make human errors, just like if it was me or you writing these, there's going to be graphical errors. There's going to be spelling errors, things like that. Normally I point them out, or I'll read something weird and then I'll be like, hold on a second, let me reread that, because it really means a different way. But there's usually no guessing. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, they did redact it? Well, that's good. That's good, Jet said, 'cause that was a big one. That was a big one. And I mean, I can see where you would be mistaken. Like, I guess I can kind of see that, where I don't think that Ashley Banfield, I'm just going to go out and say it. I'm just going to go out on a ledge and say she didn't read that document. She had an intern read it, and that intern told her that it said Kaylee. Now, if that was me, and someone brought that to me, I would say, okay, now show me in the document where you saw that, because that would be a first time thing, right? That would have been like, what? That's the first time you ever used a name. But there was something in there that was new. Now, and Dylan, I'm going to do a video, I think, of all of Dylan's recountings, because I have them all in a little spot where I could get to them, I think, kind of easy. She did say, which was different, was that he was heading out the slider door. Like, she said he was in the kitchen. She made it seem like, and he was walking out that back slider door. That's the only difference that I see, because before it was, coming around the hallway. And that could have been just what our minds took it as. So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to read all of her statements again, and I'm going to see exactly what she says. And then I'll put it on video too. But welcome in, everybody. Good. You guys everyone's coming in. They're like, she's on early. I decided to come on a little earlier tonight. I saw that everyone, like, it shows me in my back studio, like, what time's good to come on. And it showed me that people were on. So I was like, well, I might as well just go on, because I didn't have anything else to do, because I knew we were just going to be reading through these. So, and in order for me to highlight these, I have to download them all individually. And I'm not sure how to do that. Or as a whole, I have to do it individually. And I don't know how to like, I have them downloaded, but it's under a different program. So I just got to figure that out, so I can put some color on these documents, more color. So basically what the blue is going to say, like, the summary narrative is all going to read the same. The date is probably going to change, the date of birth, but they're all going to say that it's in reference to the homicides. And then it'll say witness 1, and that's going to be the person that they're doing the interview with. If there's more than one person, then there'll be witness 2 in there, witness 3, or whatever it may be. They're not giving out any names in the documents. They went ahead and they redacted everything, which I think is a good idea, but it does make it a little hard to read when you're saying like a 2 words and then redacted, 2 words redacted. So, okay. Yeah, happy mom, let me know. Yeah. So in the document that we saw last night, it still said that he was 3 feet away from her, but he was going out the back slider door. And so I don't know. That's just but that is new. I mean, and that helps by reading the documents last night, it helped my brain in knowing that the front door has been known to blow open before. That door has been open when they've come back from like vacation. However it got open, and they thought it was because of the wind might have blown it open. Then they said last night in the documents that he was heading out that back slider. So, I mean, I don't know. To me, I mean, either way, he was going towards the back slider door in both instances. But I think that it would have given us a little bit of a clearer picture if we would have read the ISP document first, even over the affidavit. So this is with a male. I'm not sure who this interview is with, but it's in Idaho, Parma. I don't know who lives there. And I did read through these, so I can't even remember. So on November 18th at 11:36 a.m., so they interviewed, and it's redacted, but their birthday was in the year 2000, in the regard to the homicide of Kaylee, Madison, Zan, and Ethan. The interview took place at the person's home in Parma Canyon County, Idaho. And the summary of their statement is that they were a friend of Gonzalez and Mogan. and was also their neighbor across the street on King Road. He did not know the other two victims. Gonzalez was in an on and off dating relationship with one of his roommates. I'm assuming that's what that says, roommates. And they were in the same fraternity. He also knew Mogan's boyfriend, but he had graduated and was living in Boise. He knew Gonzalez a little more than Mogan because she had dated Redacted, and he said their relationship remained amicable. I'm assuming Jack. I'm gonna turn the air conditioner up a little bit. It's like warm in here. Like I was freezing earlier. I have on shorts because I'm okay, but oh, that's why. Shifting target temperature 1 degree to help avoid less clean energy. Less clean energy. Your girl's over here. I'm warm. Okay. Let me see if I can make this actually look a little, not like that. That might help a little bit. So where were we? Okay. So him and his girlfriend were at his house on Saturday, November 12th. I'm assuming this is Jack, but I'm just going to say Redacted. Went to the victim's house around 10 p.m. At approximately 10:45 p.m., all three of them went and got a ride to the Corner Club bar. Redacted believed they got a ride from an Uber driver, and they gave the name. He and his friends went to the Corner Club shortly after the girls left. Approximately an hour, Redacted spoke with Gonzalez and Mogan briefly while at the Corner Club before they left. They told the girls they were going to John Alley's Tavern, and it has the location of the tavern. They did say that they saw that they were hanging out with another student he identified as Jack Showalter, and saw them leave the Corner Club with Jack Showalter. And Redacted told Redacted the girls did not typically hang out with him, and they thought it was odd. That's the only person that they're with that night. So I'm assuming that's who they're talking about. So the next morning, or that night, I'm sorry, they walked to the house at approximately 1:30 a.m. and stayed there. They woke up the next morning, Sunday, November 13th, and went and got breakfast. And they both drove to Redacted's house at approximately 11:45 a.m. There was only one police vehicle in front of the residence when they drove by. If they drove by at 11:45, that was even before the call went in. So I don't know. So all of the roommates, they went in, and they said, and then they watched more law enforcement respond to the scene. So Redacted ran to the victim's house and was approximately there for an hour and a half before returning. I'm assuming Jack. I'm assuming Jack was visibly upset and told Redacted some of the girls had died and Gonzalez was one of them. Then they left Moscow later on Sunday. That person clarified that he and Redacted went to the grub truck on their way from the Corner Club to the house. He saw on social media Gonzalez and Mogan went to the grub truck after he was there. Okay. He thought they may have been at the grub truck between 3:30 a.m. based on when they posted to their social media. The grub truck broadcasted a live feed that captured the two girls at the truck. And we went over that video when it first came out. Oh my gosh. I remember. You don't normally get like the victims on camera. You know what I mean? Like, and when, I don't know, just especially the night before or the night that they, end up dying. So it says, I think I know what this might say, but I don't know. I think they're talking about Jack here. But it says Redacted had heard Redacted may have committed the murder, but said Redacted went home with their other roommates when he and Redacted left the Corner Club. And their fourth roommate, Redacted, worked at Redacted, but would have gone home around 4 a.m. after closing down. I think that's Adam in the bar. There were also two more students that lived above, and they were hanging out before they all went to bed. So he was then awoken between 4 and 4:45 a.m. because Jack and Gonzalez's dog had been barking very loudly and uncontrollably. So these houses were so close together. Like he woke up and he was like, "Oh, that's Murphy." Like because they all know, the dog. And it's the same time too, like the timing of it. But he woke up between 4 o'clock and 4:45 because he could hear the dog barking. It sounded as though the dog was outside, which was odd because of how cold it was and the dog not being an outside dog. Very true. They are not outside dogs. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. If you guys don't mind, since I forgot to ask, I did that last night too. I forgot to ask you guys to hit the like button, I think. If you guys don't mind, will you do that for me? Appreciate that. It's good to see everyone. Hopefully, you don't have to go back to work tomorrow. Sundays, ugh. So little Murphy's out there barking his little head off. Redacted did not know the roommates that were not injured and found it odd that they were sitting in their rooms and slept through the incident. So, they thought it was odd too. So they was not aware of any of the victims had a stalker. He mentioned a stalker from earlier in the year that lived in redacted apartments that had already been reported to the police. And then they concluded the interview. Trying to see if this person's born 2001. So young. 21 years old, female. So this is a female. So the same date. Interviewing in regards to the homicides. So this is going to go back from Saturday. Same place. Wondering, I don't know. I have a feeling I'm going to be trying to guess who these people are. Like, and I should just like put that out of my mind. But I'm like, who could this be that's redacted? Just because I'm like curious. So on Saturday, November the 12th, 2022, the two people that they're interviewing, they're at the same place. I don't know why they didn't just put them together, but it says redacted was at the college house. So there's two people there, located at King Road in Moscow. She called Gonzalez at approximately 10 p.m. and went over to her house. Mogan came home from the redacted house shortly after. Gonzalez had contacted a man by the name, and they gives the name, to give them a ride from their house. They did not know what the last name was, but provided his telephone number. When that person arrived to pick them up, the ride, Gonzalez got in the front seat, and the other two girls got in the back. They had recently the driver had recently had a baby, and redacted asked him how fatherhood was. He said he was feeling down about it and let out a big sigh. He said it was harder than he expected and had been kind of hard on him. He also said his wife and kid were out of town and he was excited to have the house to himself for the weekend. He dropped the girls off at the corner club and told them he would be driving until about 3 a.m. So then all of them were friends of the girls and were already at the bar. So the guys, I believe it's all the guys that live at Haley's ex's house. So two people that were redacted shared a class with a guy that's redacted who was at the corner club, began creeping redacted out by staring at her and making comments to her. They also spoke to another person saying he needed to get her redacted GD phone number right now and was being kind of aggressive. Redacted hung around the girls at the bar for a while. Wonder who they're talking about there. Now that's a name you didn't really need to redact, huh? I am early, is she? It's good to see everyone in here. Thank you for being here. Where were we? Okay, so he hung around the girls at the bar for a while. This person said Gonzalez and Mogan left to go to John Alley's in Moscow, and her Jack Showalter went with them. She didn't see him leave with the girls, but thought it would be weird if it was true. The girls apparently asked Redacted to go with them as well, but he stayed at the corner club. I'm assuming that was probably Jack, but Redacted left the corner club with Redacted at approximately 1:15 a.m. and went to the grub truck. They got food at the grub truck and then went back to the house in Moscow to eat and go to bed. Just missed each other, you know? I asked why it would have been odd for the girls to leave with Redacted. She said, Redacted was not someone she or the other girls hung out with because he was weird. He smoked a lot of pot, had a temper, and fought a lot. The girls knew because he was a Redacted or a member of the something fraternity. Mogan's boyfriend was also a whatever fraternity that is, and the sororities would often hang out with them. Gonzalez and Mogan had sent videos of themselves at the grub truck to a Snapchat group around 2 a.m. So that was what they were doing. When she was like holding up the phone, you could tell she was like, looked like she was like taking a video or something, but it looked like she was like putting it up to where she could get like Maddie in there too. So that must have been, I think that's what they were doing. Redacted had not heard of Gonzalez having a stalker. She said the victims were pretty well liked and did not know of any issues the victims had with anyone. She thought that, okay, that makes sense. So we don't need to read that. Redacted said there were a lot of Instagram accounts that were surfacing. The accounts had few followers, but were following many of the girls and making comments such as, "You're next. Thank God they're gone, and I'm going to do it again." People probably would troll accounts. I wish that those troll accounts, they would really go and look for like and look back on those, you know, like those accounts that are saying that to these girls, "You're next." I mean, they're already living in fear. They're already living in utter fear. I mean, I couldn't even imagine. You don't even want to walk out to your car. Or half of them, more than half the class went home. Forget about graduation. I'm going home. That's what I was said. I said, "See you later. See you. I'm not coming back till you catch them." So it says Redacted thought Redacted involvement with the sorority girls was odd. He would frequently drop other rides for them and gave them his personal phone number. He seemed to pay particular attention to certain members. I'm assuming sorority girls. This started with 2 sorority girls that had already graduated and had passed the phone number on to them. The interview was concluded at 1:03. So I would like to hear the review of the audio. I would like the audio. I wonder how much the audio would be. That's probably what's costing so much. But if they're all giving out their documents, they're not going to have much to give out in Moscow. And then they're going to have to not give us charges $20,000. So the next one is a female, age 19. They have recordings, audio, and visual of this one. Okay. So she's part of one of the sororities at the University of Idaho. She knew Ethan Chapin through his fraternity. She got to know Xana Kernodle through Chapin. She didn't know Kaylee Gonzalez or Madison Mogan very well. She knew Chapin and Kernodle for 1.5 years. So someone that knows the other 2 victims. She currently lives at the sorority house and has never been to the 1122 King Road house. She was at the fraternity house on Saturday night, November 12th, for a party. Chapin and Kernodle were at the party. She never heard of any sort of stalking incidents. She was with Kernodle until 2 a.m. She took a picture with Kernodle and walked home. Chapin and Kernodle remained at the party. She had no further contact with them. Kernodle had been dating Chapin for about a year. Everyone had a crush on Kernodle. She heard Redacted was at the 1122 King Road house after the party. Redacted is a Redacted and a PC brother of Chapin. Okay. Everything, I mean, you know, nothing too new, but we are hearing from a lot of people. And it looks like ISP might have did a lot of the interviews. Like a lot of them. I mean, we got 500 pages worth of interviews, it seems like. And we have pictures and stuff too towards the end. But I'll make sure I won't show anything without letting you guys know exactly what I'm showing. Okay, so this person's getting interviewed and they're asking her to explain her day. So she said it was game day. Her and her friends attended a pregame at the apartment complex at approximately 3 p.m. She remembers talking to Mattis Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez at the pregame and was sure she saw the rest of the roommates there. She remembers seeing Xana as well at approximately 3:50 p.m. She left the pregame and went to the game that started at 4 p.m. She said she was going to help Gonzalez get a ticket for the game. Gonzalez decided to not go to the game because Mogan was not going. After the game, she said they went to a place called, and it's redacted, Gonzalez texted her and asked if she was going to the corner club. She said they would go after the fights on TV were over. At approximately 10:59, Gonzalez texted her asking if she needed a ride. Gonzalez text read, "Me, Maddie, and someone else are getting one so we can pick you up." She said she was at the corner club when she saw the message. At approximately 10:30 to 11, she saw Mogan and Gonzalez at the corner club. At approximately 11:30 to 12, she left the corner club with her boyfriend, or with her other friend and boyfriend, and went home. She said after she got home, her friend was drunk and she was trying to put her to bed. Her boyfriend went to bed in her room. I mean, like okay, maybe she meant her boyfriend. I thought she was meaning like the girl's boyfriend went to bed. And I'm like, wait, what? Be like, get your girlfriend. I'm going to bed. They asked her how well she knew the victims. She said she met Mogan her freshman year and knew her through mutual friends. She said she met Gonzalez her freshman year and they were both in the same sorority. She and Gonzalez, she said Gonzalez was her best friend. She said she did not know Xana Kernodle as well. She described her as being a big party girl and would attend the same parties as her. Kernodle was best friends with a lot of the, it says it's redacted. So maybe, I don't know what that's supposed to be because it's so small, but I'm thinking it's supposed to say like Greek life. I asked if Gonzalez ever mentioned if she was ever followed or talked about some weird activity recently. She said Gonzalez never mentioned that to her. I asked if Gonzalez had anybody who had issues with her, or if she hadn't anybody had issues with her. She said Gonzalez never mentioned it to her. She said Gonzalez was the type to go out and meet random people at places like John Alley's and would get rides from random people. She said Gonzalez and Jack had broken up recently after a long relationship. I asked her where her house was in relation to the victim's house. She said both houses shared a backyard with a chain link fence separating the 2 yards. So, wow, that's really close. Sergeant Hoxie asked if she heard any strange noises. She said she did not. I asked, redacted, if Gonzalez had always stayed in the same apartment. She said Gonzalez had stayed there all summer. She said Gonzalez's room in the summer was on the main floor. At the end of the summer, Gonzalez moved into the room upstairs. She said she heard from one of the girl's friends. They went to Coeur d'Alene for a week, and when they returned, they noticed the rear sliding glass door was open. And she didn't know the date of the incident. See how it says I did not know the date of the incident? Like, see, like those little spelling errors is what got us in trouble, I think. Not us, Banfield. Sergeant Hoxie asked about drug use. She said she never saw Gonzalez or Mogan do drugs. She said she wasn't sure about Kernodle. She said they probably had, but it wasn't anything that was prominent. She said we should talk to some of Kernodle's friends, and then she gave a list of people. I asked if there was any other information she feels we should know or any other people we should talk to. She gave some names. One CD with audio. Okay. So then we go down to the next interview. This is male, 23, Eagle, Idaho. They're from everywhere because, I mean, they were all at college, right? And then they all went home. So they got video, or what is it? Looks like maybe interview audio. So, okay. So this interview took place at the Idaho State Police District 3 office. This is what they reported during the interview. He gave his address for Moscow, Idaho, while attending the University of Idaho. His house was across the street from where the homicide occurred. He knew Kaylee Gonzalez since her freshman year at the university. Gonzalez also dated his friend, Redacted, and him were in the fraternity together. Gonzalez was in a sorority, which was down the road from his fraternity. He wasn't extremely close to Gonzalez, but was friends with her. He and Gonzalez had been, or Jack and Gonzalez had been dating since their sophomore year. In high school, he thought they attended Lake City High School in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Redacted and Gonzalez had been dating on and off again for the last few months because Gonzalez was moving to Texas or North Carolina after the semester. He didn't think Redacted wanted to break up with Gonzalez, but was understanding. He thought Gonzalez initiated the breakup. There wasn't any turmoil in their relationship, and they were still talking and hanging out together. They both had a dog together, which lived in the house last year. He didn't talk to him about his relationship with Gonzalez. Redacted worked at the Redacted, and he thought Redacted might have quit. That's just so much redaction there. He also knew the other victims, Maddie, Xana, and he says Coronado had gone over to his house a few times to see his roommate from last year, but transferred schools. He didn't really talk to Mogan, but knew her by first name. The other two girls, it's going to be Bethany and Dylan, were younger, and he didn't really know them. He didn't know Ethan Chapin. His house was three stories. Okay, that's wrong. Okay. The house was 3 stories where he lived with, and has them all redacted. He and Redacted lived on the top floor of the house. He never noticed anything out of place near his house or the victim's house. On November 12th, 2020, the University of Idaho's football team was playing UC Davis. I think that's supposed to be 2022. It is. See, there's another graphical error. At 4 p.m., he woke up that day, got some food, and started tailgating for the game. After tailgating, he went home and then went out to the bars. At approximately 11 p.m., he got to the corner club. While he was at the corner club, he saw Gonzalez, but couldn't remember if she was with anyone. At approximately 12:30 a.m., a sober member from his fraternity arrived to drive him home. As they were leaving the corner club, they were pulled over for an expired registration. The cops let them go, and he was driven home. It says that the other 2 guys, they got home about 30 minutes after him. Hey, Sirius, welcome in. Where were we at? Okay, at his house, he hung out and drank beers with the girlfriend and his roommates. After hanging out, he went to bed, which was early for him. He never heard anything of Gonzalez having a stalker until after her death. Gonzalez worked at Redacted, where he heard she had a weird person coming in for her. He heard this information from, it's Redacted. He also heard from his girlfriend. Gonzalez had a weird guy following her around Winco earlier that week. This information was from a third party. He wasn't aware of any of the victims using drugs. He never texted or called Gonzalez. He wasn't aware of any recent parties at the victim's house. He wanted to let us know that Redacted heard a dog barking around 4 a.m. Redacted reported it to the police the following day after the incident. There was Redacted, this person did not have any injuries to his hands, arms, or face. So not only are the police looking over people, but the Gonzalez's were too, you know. When Jack came to their house, pull up your sleeves, pull up your shirt. Sorry, we have to do this to you, but it's, you know what I mean, for our safety of mind. And he was like, okay, here you go, you know. It's sad. So this person, the next person's a male, 21. Okay, run them through. It's like, he's like, I just tell them to run me through their day. So he started his day at approximately 10:30 to 11 a.m., got some food and ate. He took his girlfriend some beer at Treehouse and started drinking prior to the Vandal game. That just sounds like a nice college experience. At approximately 4 p.m., He said that he went to the game. He returned home between 8 and 9 p.m. and had a sandwich. He took a 2-hour nap. At approximately 11 p.m., he woke up. His roommate was wanting to go to the bar. They went to the corner club and had a few beers and hung out. At approximately 1:45 a.m., their fraternity president picked them all up, and they drove home. After getting home, they hung out for about 15-20 minutes to check on his friend who had consumed too much alcohol. He said he went to his room where his girlfriend was already in bed. He said they talked for a bit, and he believed he fell asleep around 2:45 a.m. I asked Redacted if he heard any noises that could have awoken him. He said no. He said he did say his friend told him he heard a dog barking between the hours of 4:15 a.m. and 5 o'clock a.m. That's tighter window, you know. We know at 4:17 it's on audio. And he said it sounded like Murphy. Murphy was a dog who was shared between their two houses. So I believe this is Jack said Murphy was at the girls' house that day. So I asked him how close he knew the girls. He said, I'm like a handshake to them. Redacted knew Kaylee Gonzalez through Redacted. They dated for a while. He never really talked to Madison Mogan. He was friends with Xander Kernodle and had met Ethan Chapin at an event called Rush. So then the officer asked him if he had seen any of the victims that night. He said he saw Gonzalez and Mogan at the corner club. Redacted. He said that they were with Jack Showalter. He said they were heading to John Alley's. Redacted said he heard Redacted was kicked out of John Alley's. After John Alley, the three of them went to the grub truck, and he believed they went home afterwards. Look how I spelled afterwards. I'm just going to giggle in my head. So I asked him if any of the victims were involved in the use of drugs. He said he knew Redacted, and Gonzalez and Mogan had Redacted. He wasn't sure if Kernodle Redacted. I don't know what that could be. That could be anything. That could be smoking pot. That could be doing shrooms. That could be a lot of things. But it looks like that's what he's trying to say, like that he knew that they maybe tried something, but I don't know. So Sergeant Hoxie asked if the girls had a party the night before or the day of the incident. He said he saw a bunch of people dressed up and walking up to the house with speakers. He believed they had a formal the night before the incident. He asked if he had heard about a stalker. He said he had heard from Redacted Sunday night Gonzalez was followed to her car in the parking lot of Winco. He heard Gonzalez might have been followed in the store as well. Sergeant Huxley asked how he heard about the incident, and he said best friends FaceTimed her and said, hey, there's a bunch of police outside. Do you know what's going on? Redacted went upstairs and saw the officers taping off the scene. So after the Winco thing happened, Redacted told him a couple weeks ago all the roommates were out of the house getting groceries. When they returned, their sliding glass door was open. Huh. Wow. I mean, that door was open. Why would the sliding door be open? Right? I mean, I don't know. I asked if there was any more information he feels that we should know. He said he heard from Redacted that one of the girls was downstairs. When she opened the door, she saw a person with a ski mask, made eye contact, slammed her door, and locked it. Interview was terminated. Like, we're not going to talk about that. And I don't know if that's what it means, but the other ones were all saying interview concluded, and that one said interview terminated. Like, we're not going to talk about that. Okay, so this person is someone that lived in the house the prior year. She lived in the room, I believe. It's going to say the one that Kaylee was in, but I'm not sure. So we'll look. But Madison Mogan is the only one currently in the house that was in the house last year too. Mogan was her best friend. She knew Xana Kernodle very well and became close to Kaylee Gonzalez. Mogan FaceTimed her that night, 12:40 a.m. Moscow time. Mogan was at the corner club. The conversation was only about 40 seconds. Mogan was with her friend. and then it's redacted. She communicated with Mogan every day. Mogan's boyfriend, and it's redacted, he was with a group of friends Saturday night at the bars in Boise. She was told by someone, redacted, of a time at Winco when someone followed Gonzalez out of the building to her car. There was also another time when all the roommates of the King Road house went out for a bit, and when they came back, the back door was open after being previously locked. That's crazy. So did someone come in the front door and then exit through the back door to leave it unlocked and open? Hey, what are you doing back there? I swear that dog tries to bury herself every night. She heard Gonzalez was walking her dog once and had seen someone hiding behind a garbage dumpster. Gonzalez felt someone had been watching her. This was about a month prior. Now, I did show you that video of Brian Enton walking back behind the house, and there is a walk path, like a pathway that you can walk back there. And if someone was back there walking to their apartment, you might hear like trussels of like the leaves and stuff, right? And you might think someone's back there, like that, because obviously there is someone back there, but maybe it could have been something as simple as that, in my opinion, but we don't know. It says redacted had moved into the King Road house this semester. Her boyfriend was redacted and lived in Boise. And then she put someone that they should talk to. And it says last year, her friend was contacted by a man she didn't know who knew her name and major. Redacted kept seeing this man. He once came up to her at the corner club. He knew Mogan's major. Redacted is still on the lease of the house. The guy was about their age. Okay. Female, 22. So this person, her name was still on the lease, but she had graduated. So she graduated in May, but her name was still on the lease. She planned on returning to Moscow for work. Redacted boyfriend, redacted, was living there as well. She would visit often. The last time she visited was Halloween weekend. So a couple weeks before. Madison Mogan was her best friend. Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and her were in the same sorority. Kayla Gonzalez was Mogan's childhood best friend. She said she never hung out with Ethan Chapin. The last time she spoke to Mogan was a week prior to the incident via text. I asked her if Mogan ever mentioned anything about a stalker, and she said no. She asked Mogan how the house was doing. Mogan said the house and the roommates were great. They had a good system in place. Redactor was Mogan's boyfriend. They had been dating for approximately 2 years. Their relationship was good, and they never had any arguments. She never observed any arguments between them. So then Sergeant Hoxie asked what room she lived in when she stayed there for school. So this is the one that lived in Kaylee's old room. So she said her room was upstairs on the left and Mogan's room was on the right. Over the summer, she still had some belongings there because she planned on going back. Towards the end of July, Gonzalez texted her and asked if she could move into her bedroom. And she told her yes, because she decided to not go back to the house and stayed in Boise. Gonzalez worked from home remotely and was home most of the time. Gonzalez had a roommate who was living with her for the summer. So I don't know what that means. She had a roommate, like, living with her for the summer. Like, where was she living? I mean, like, they had that bedroom on the first floor, but nobody was staying in that room. So I don't know why it's worded like that, but it is. So it says Gonzalez had a roommate who was living with her for the summer. Unless it's supposed to be for the following summer. Like summer of 2022, 2023. Sorry, 2023. Oh, thank you, Magamom. I appreciate that. And you're welcome. I don't mind reading to you guys. I put you guys to sleep. Hey, Maribeth. Hey, Phoebe. I just made that name up. I'll make it up again, too. Look at that. Phoebe. I think it's Phoebe. Cute puppy. Phoebe. I bet you no one's called you that before. They probably have. You're probably like, I hear that all the time. Hey, Trips. Okay, let me grab my drink, and my eye is like itching. Sorry. Not my actual eye, but my eyelid. I don't put you to sleep. That's good. There are some people on this platform, and I mean, in a good way, they put me to sleep in a good way. Like their voice is it's just soothing. I'll fall asleep. So where were we? Okay. I asked if she knew the tenants who currently resided in the house. She said, along with the three involved, redacted and redacted, lived in Reno. Okay. She met Mogan in 2019 and had been friends with her since. She said Mogan was the most anti-conflict person ever. She told her that Friday before the incident, the girls had a sorority formal. The formal was kept intimate. They only had people they knew at the formal, and it did not get out of hand. She described the house she lived in as an open door policy, meaning people were constantly going in and out of the house. She was always scared of something like that happening. She would triple check the lock on her bedroom door because she didn't feel safe. Mm-mm. No. If I didn't feel safe like that and I was triple checking to see if my bedroom door was locked, I'm moving out. There ain't no house cool enough in the world to be living in, right? I mean, your safe is your security, right? Put a Ring doorbell on the other side of your door. There you go. Thank you, Ladybug, for the super sticker. That's very nice. Thank you. Did she say it like I said it? Your great aunt? Was it Phoebe? Because I'm feeling the Phoebe now. I know it's not right, but I think I'm feeling it. She's probably like, I've been hearing this my whole life. I'm Tanya with an A. Oh yeah, you can't see my name. There it is. So I can relate in a way. You did send okay, thanks, happy mom. I appreciate it. It says here she was nervous. Okay. Mogan would leave her bedroom door unlocked most of the time as well as her window. Well, that's because Maddie had no fear, you know? She was just living her best life. There were times she would hear footsteps in the house and would blow it off thinking someone's just here or just had a friend over. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. That was probably really loud in your ears. Sorry, guys. Sergeant Huxley asked while she was living there if there were any break-ins or if she heard of a stalker. There would be times she would wake up and would see the sliding glass door was unlocked. She thought it might have been from someone forgetting to lock the door after having people over the night before. I asked about other times the glass door was found unlocked or opened. She told her a while back they had all gone out. When they got back, they noticed the sliding glass door was open. The girls were usually pretty good at making sure the doors were locked. Most people would use the front door. Only their close friends would use the sliding glass door in the kitchen. She had 3 different run-ins with a white male who she described as approximately 5'5", fit build, slick back hair, clean shaved, possibly mid-20s. The first time was at the corner club. He approached her and called her by name. She did not know him. Okay, well, we know that's not Brian because approximately 5'5". Is it our other friend? Forget his name now. Okay, he was. Yeah, he's just a weird guy. Okay. So then we're going to go down. And then he asked if Gonzalez had ever talked about a stalker. Talked about she took out the trash to the dumpster located across the parking lot and felt there was a figure standing around close by. And felt there probably was someone close by. There was probably another student. That says Gonzalez was home alone all the time. Or at the time. Was home alone at the time. So maybe they were just scaredy girls. You know what I mean? They just scaredy cats. I was like that. I could scare myself. I could scare myself right now if I went into a dark room and said there's a shadow in the corner. There's a ghost. Yeah, thank you. Who got some memberships? Well, we're doing Phoebe right. She got the first membership. And Ida, Brown Eyes, Susan, Monet, welcome in. I'm like, she's like, I better get a partying gift for this. So he asked, or Sergeant Huxley, I don't know, asked if she had heard about how the girls' day had gone. She heard about the day's activities from Redacted and through Snapchat. She said they had a really good day and had fun. It sounded like they started at their house and went to the apartments, the redacted apartments. She believed at some point Kernodle and her boyfriend, redacted and redacted, went back to the house because they weren't 21 years old. Mogan and Gonzalez went to the corner club. So it must mean all the younger ones. So she told her the last text he got from Mogan was, she just woke up from a nap and was going to the corner club. I asked Redacted if Redacted had mentioned what she thought happened. It was game day, so everyone had been drinking. She told her, or Redacted told her, she wasn't sure when Kernodle and Chapin got home. Kernodle was with Redacted and they were home before Mogan and Gonzalez got back. She told her she went upstairs and ate grub truck with Mogan and Gonzalez. She went back downstairs to go to bed. The officer asked her if Redacted mentioned seeing anybody else in the house or if anyone came home with Mogan and Gonzalez. She said no. It sounded like it was just the three of them eating grub truck. So then Redacted told Redacted, I think this is Dylan saying this to this girl, but I'm not sure. But she woke up around 4 a.m. to music playing. She hoped Gonzalez would turn it off soon. Redacted had said she could hear Gonzalez and their dog Murphy play upstairs. Shortly after that, Redacted told Redacted the music turned off and heard Gonzalez say, I think someone is here. She told him she heard someone run upstairs and run back down. Redacted said she peeked out of her room and did not see anything, but could vaguely hear someone in the bathroom. She called Redacted and Redacted told her to come down to her room. After a few minutes, Redacted told her she opened her bedroom door and saw a person standing out there, and they made eye contact. Redacted said he then walked out the sliding glass door. So, okay, I'm going with this one because this is another person that's like kind of saying like, you know what I mean? Like this is her recollection too. So maybe that is what the story is. Sergeant Huxley asked if she could had described this person to her, if Dylan did, I believe. She told her she felt hazy and didn't remember many details. She told her she thought the person was about her height and had his face and forehead covered. She said she ran to Bethany's room and locked the door. Sergeant Huxley asked why she thought someone would want to harm her friends. She thought it was someone who was watching. She was always afraid of that. She always had an uneasy, weird feeling at the house, which is one of the reasons why she didn't want to go back. She felt the house was easy to get into and easy to watch because they didn't have any blinds over the windows and layout of the house. She had told Redacted the sliding glass door was broken at one point. If the door was jiggled just right, the door would unlock. If the front door was unlocked, you had to enter the code. Hold on. Oh, if it was locked, you had to enter the code on the keypad. But if the deadbolt wasn't locked, the door could be opened. Okay. And then she said they should talk to this person, and then interview concluded. Wow. Next person was born in 1997. 25. Female. This person left the University of Idaho in May of 2021. She belonged to the sorority, and Madison Mogan was her best friend. She was also friends with Kaylee Gonzalez, Anna Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Redacted and Redacted. She became close with Kernodle the year before she left the University of Idaho. She had gone up to Moscow and seen all of them recently for homecoming in October 2022. She knew Gonzalez through Mogan. She had met Chapin once or twice through Kernodle. She did not know Redacted Dylan or Bethany, I guess, as well. She had only met them a few times. She received a FaceTime call from Mogan the night of the homicides at approximately 1:50 a.m. Boise time. Redacted was drunk at the time of the call. Mogan appeared to be also. The call only lasted approximately 1 minute. So the people that they were with during the call in a bar in Boise, Mogan was with Gonzalez at the corner club in Moscow. So she was at one bar in Boise and her friends were, Mogan and Kaylee were at the other bar, the corner club in Moscow, and they called. So she had run into Mogan's boyfriend at the bar called Amsterdam Lounge in Boise. She took a picture with him at the bar at approximately 1:15 a.m. Redacted and redacted were also in the photo. I confirmed the date and timestamp on the photo as being from the night of the homicides. She had been with those two people and some of her other friends every day since the homicides. She had seen redacted and others since the homicides Monday, November 14th, and others had come over after they arrived back in Boise. Redacted parents met her in Boise and went back home with them. The last social media post she had seen with any of the victims was the picture of Mogan on Gonzalez's Snapchat story. They were at the grub truck together. She knew the person in the video at the grub truck was Jack Showalter. She did not know him well. Redacted had a girlfriend the whole time. Redacted was going to school at University of Idaho. She knew the girlfriend, Redacted, better than him. And I guess they were not dating anymore. She had heard a rumor that he had anger issues. She had heard a rumor that he hunts. Who doesn't hunt in Idaho? I would think like everybody would. When she was in Moscow during homecoming, she went to the victim's house but did not go inside. The last time she was in the victim's house was December 2021. Different girls were living in the house then. She knew where each of the victims' rooms were in the house. The room near the kitchen was Dylan Mortenson's. The room by the bathroom upstairs, but still on the main level, was Kernodle's. The room downstairs when you first walk in was Bethany's. The room next to that room was vacant, but Redacted was paying rent. The room upstairs with the sliding glass door and the balcony was Gonzalez. The tiny room upstairs with just a window to the balcony was Mogan's. Mogan is the only one who lived there for 2 years, and she stayed in that room the whole time. When she lived in Moscow, everyone used the front door to go in and out of the house. Okay. That's all redacted. So she thought Redacted and Redacted called because they were a little worried their other roommates were answering. Redacted thought she had heard someone in the house the night before and wasn't sure if that person was still in the house. During Redacted time living in Moscow, it wasn't uncommon for someone to walk into the wrong house drunk or to hear people up and moving around, in which case you might call someone you know instead of the police. Redacted told Redacted she heard Gonzalez playing music earlier that night at approximately 4 a.m. She ended up going down to, I'm assuming, Bethany's room because she was the only one who answered. They had been drinking all day the day before, and Redacted was a little freaked out that someone might be in the house. She does not believe any of the victims used drugs. Mogan and Kernodle were servers at the Mad Greek. Gonzalez was about to finish school. Since the homicides, Redacted and Redacted told Redacted a story about Mogan Gonzalez and Kernodle going to Winco. Gonzalez went in. Gonzalez felt like someone was following her, lurking around. So that's, 2 to 3 weeks prior to the interview, it says. Okay, so since the homicides, a story came out of Gonzalez going outside to take Murphy to urinate. There was a man watching her from the dumpster near the house. So she was scared. She did not know a timeline of when this event took place or what time of the day it took place. The weekend prior to the homicides, Mogan had flown down to Boise, and Redacted and Mogan spent time together. Jake. Mogan never mentioned anything about this. She was told she believed by Gonzalez's sister. Gonzalez woke up the morning after the homicides. Wait. Okay, this must, okay. With 16 missed calls from Gonzalez and Mogan, which occurred at approximately 3 a.m. Gonzalez had called approximately 10 times and Mogan had called approximately 6 times. There was also text messages sent to Redacted saying things like, bro, what the fuck, wake up. Gonzalez was known for calling a lot of times consecutively when she wanted to contact someone. Neither Gonzalez nor Mogan would call. Would call Redacted instead of the police for help. Redacted and Gonzalez had dated previously and they were currently broken up, but good friends, Jack. She is frustrated by the rumors and random accusations on social media. She's the only person, I mean, like that actually said, like, she's just frustrated with that. I would be too. What? How long have we been? We've been on here for half the time and I went through half the documents. I mean, like, I mean, we went through 30 documents last time. We're on 54 now, and it's only been, that's weird. Must be going through them a little quicker this time. Must just have them down better. So this is someone that's 21, female. She's asking her about the day, what'd you do that day? So she lived at something Avenue, almost maybe Steiner, I don't know. Her residence was in front of Madison Mogen's house. She was no longer in a sorority, but she lived with some of the sorority members. She knew Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xander Kernodle. She had met Ethan Chapin, but did not know him well. She was closest with Mogen. She lived with Redacted and Redacted. Previously, she went to Mogen and Gonzalez's residence often and was there with them often. She did not go out during the day on game day, Saturday, November 12th. She did not attend the daytime party, but she saw them at the bar that night. She went to the corner club with her friend, and she found Mogen and Gonzalez while she was there. She spent most of her time at the corner club with Mogen and Gonzalez. She was supposed to go home with them, but she had a weird feeling, so she got a ride home with a freshman Greek life designated driver. Good thing, honey. Good thing you were feeling a little weird and you just, was like, I'm just going to go home. She left at approximately 1:15 a.m. There was a weird man at the bar. He was pushing her at the bar. Mogen introduced her to the man. The man was following Mogen, Redacted, and Gonzalez around the bar. Mogen told Redacted she had classes with the man. The man kept grabbing girls' butts, and he grabbed Redacted's stomach. He spat at them and others, and Redacted was told the man was kicked out of the bar. He never said much. He seemed off and not just drunk. When she got home, she went to her friend's apartment, also in the Redacted, which was directly across from Mogen's residence. She did not hear or see Mogen or Gonzalez come home, but she knew they went and got food at Grub Truck after they left the corner club. She saw Gonzalez post on Snapchat with Mogen at the Grub Truck. She went home to her apartment at between 3:30 and 3:45 a.m. There was not a lot of people arriving home around that time, except for a few people belonging to the fraternity who were staying at the apartment where she was hanging out. She knew there was speculation about redacted text, I don't know, at approximately 3:04 a.m. to see what she was doing. Redacted grew up with Redacted. She heard about a stalker, but heard it could have been for any of the girls in the house. Okay. She said she had heard about a man that used to follow Gonzalez on walks with her dog and had been seen around the dumpster. Mogen, Gonzalez, and Kernodle did not use drugs. She spent a lot of time with Mogen, Gonzalez, and Kernodle's house. If she needed to borrow something, Mogen would text her the door code, but they would often leave their back door open so she could just walk around the back and go in often. Usually the people who went to the victim's residence were known by other people in the group. She doesn't usually go to the house parties anymore, but Kernodle and Chapin still attend them regularly because they were underage and could not go to the bar. She didn't think any of them had any enemies. She went to high school with, and that's Redacted, and she knew someone through Greek life, someone else. She did not know either of them well. Okay. She knew Mogen had a boyfriend. She knew Gonzalez had a previous boyfriend. And the current boy Gonzalez was seeing was Redacted, was really nice, and he and Gonzalez dated for approximately 6 years. She recalled from previous years, there were people on the sex offender registry in the area. They're in every area. They're everywhere. Don't you love the Elvis doodlebug? Oh, we got that for Isabel. We'll always have that Elvis for her. If I watch, I should delete it, and then she comes back in the chat. I could see her flying in here. Where's my Elvis? It'd always be there. So interview ended. Okay. Now we got male, 21. What'd you do on this day? So his house was near where the homicide occurred. He also lived at Redacted Star, Idaho, when he was not at the university. Okay. Gives the people that he was roommates with. His house was all older members of the something fraternity. He only knew Kayla Gonzalez because Jack dated her. Must be one of his roommates. He met Gonzalez his freshman year when I think it was Jack started dating her. Maybe not. I don't know. Redacted and Gonzalez's relationship was good. He never saw them fight or have a disagreement. He never talked about his relationship with Gonzalez to him. He didn't know Redacted and Gonzalez had broken up because Gonzalez got a job offer in Texas. Okay, we read kind of like almost similar to this. He did not know if the victims used drugs on November 12th. It was a game day for University of Idaho. He wasn't sure when he woke up, but he thought it was around 9 to 10. He got some beer and went upstairs to his house and started drinking. I mean, yeah, that's about time. He went to the Kibbe Dome parking lot for the tailgate before the football game and was there for an hour or two before the game started. He went to the game and left the game about 5 minutes to the end because the University of Idaho was losing. Oh yeah, I would have left before then. I hate being stuck in stadium like parking. He got a ride from the football game back to his house from his sober buddy. At his house, he drank some more and watched the UFC fights. After the fights, he went to the corner club. Everyone he lived with was at the corner club. He only saw Gonzalez at the corner club. He told him Madison Mogan was there as well. At approximately 1:30, he called his sober buddy to pick him up. His sober buddy got pulled over, and he didn't want to pile everyone in one car in front of the cops, so he called another sober buddy to pick him up. He redacted got a ride home from the second sober buddy. They got home around 1:45 a.m. He made some pizza rolls and went to bed about 15 minutes after getting home. Oh, that means you put them in the microwave. Those things are not tasting good. He was intoxicated for a majority of the day and did not remember specific details. He did not have any injuries to the hands, arms, or face. Man. Hey, Aldo. Welcome in, everyone that I don't see. I hate parking too, actually. I just hate parking in general. I really do. I really do. And I even have one of the little handicaps placards things I can use. You know, this little put this up in the window because my legs be bad. But we parked out far today. I was like, I don't know what Vince is trying to do to me. I don't know what he's trying to do to me. He parked me all the way out of Sam's Club. All the way out. And you know, the parking lots are bigger there because the little buggies, the little carts. I was like, you doing this to me? No, it usually doesn't hurt that bad. Just where I live, it's just really weird where I live. They have extra handicap spots. So there, instead of having like 2, which there's normally like 2 or 4, there's like 10 to 15, like in each row. And I'm like, where did we move to? And then we got Purple Heart parking, Expecting Mothers parking. I'm like, Tawny's going to need her own parking pass. Oh, I hope you feel better, Crime Kitty. And hey, Monet. Okay, so the next one is, this is canvassing the neighborhood. So let's see. So on November 19th, they were out canvassing. And it says area for security cameras. Okay, so it's just saying where they walked. I'm not going to read all that to you. That will just probably bore you. And then they did pull cameras, and you can see the following addresses and had residences home and confirmed they did not have security cameras. So these people here, the following address had an observation ring doorbell camera, but did not have a resident home. Okay. I need Vincent. He's good at camera stuff. The following addresses had security cameras and had a resident home. So there was nobody. Nope, there's some more. The following address did not have residents or did not. Okay, wait. The following addresses did not have residents and did not have observable security cameras outside the house. They got a long list there. Get security cameras. If you can't afford a security camera for outside of your house, I'll give you a tip. Go buy yourself a little bling camera. They're like this big. Sit it up in your window. Set it in your front window, closest to your door or whatever you got to do. I've seen people do that to watch their car, and I'm like, that's a smart idea. I'm just looking out for you. Or get yourself one of the little light bulb cameras that are about $20. Those are good too. And they're really easy program. You just twist it. Because man, people are crazy. Well, this person's age is 0, so I think it's 20. They were born in 22. So they interviewed this person in regards to the homicides. It says Kernodle was one of her closest friends outside her sorority, and she knew Chapin through his fraternity. She was not very familiar with Mogan and had never met Gonzalez. Saturday before the incident was the last home football game, but there weren't a lot of people around because it was rainy. It was also in Vision, Idaho, so there was not supposed to be alcohol on campus, and there was not supposed to be a lodge party or an organized party at the redacted lodge. I guess Moose Lodge, I don't know. They went to the lodge party. Redacted went to the lodge party, and there weren't many people there. Well, they weren't supposed to have a lodge party. That's why. Because lodge parties are sanctioned by fraternity sorority life. Redacted kept a list of names of those in attendance at the party and check Vandal IDs. There are apartments around the lodge. They went to an apartment, possibly apartment, the number, during the lodge party, and Kernodle was in the apartment. She knew Kernodle to party pretty hard and noted Kernodle wasn't super drunk that night. Another friend of her took a photo of Kernodle in the apartment playing guitar and posted it to her Snapchat story around 2 a.m. She took a screenshot of the post. She recalled later in the interview also seeing Kernodle's other roommate, redacted at the redacted house. The last she spoke with Kernodle at the house was approximately 12:45 a.m. when everyone was leaving. She just said she took a picture. Another friend, okay. When everyone was leaving, Kernodle and Chapin walked away, and she believed they went right home and did not go anywhere else. She got a ride home from a sober bro at approximately 2 a.m. That same person also picked up Gonzalez and Mogan at the grub truck and can be seen on the grub truck's live Twitch feed doing so. So she went home at the redacted house. It was one of the sorority houses, I'm assuming, and was hanging out with some friends. The group went to the something pie house next door until approximately 4 a.m. before returning home and going to bed. She woke up at approximately 11 a.m. on Sunday to go study at the sorority house. She said Kernodle and Chapin were not big drug people and said she had not seen them use redacted. She stated Kernodle redacted. She suspected someone would have been going after Gonzalez or Mogan and ran into Kernodle and Chapin. Well, damn, girl. Aren't you a detective? That's what happened. Okay, so she said she suspected someone would have been going after Gonzalez or Mogan and ran into Kernodle and Chapin. Kernodle was one of the most popular girls in Greek Row, and everyone knew and liked her. She had heard Gonzalez had a stalker, but did not know the validity of that rumor. She thought the Twitch broadcast didn't sit well with her. She said Gonzalez and Mogan looked really uncomfortable in the video. There was a male subject behind them that looked really nervous, but Redacted did not know who the male was. She all thought that what we thought at first, right? She said that Kernodle's friend may know more about possible drama or conflict involving any of the victims. Redacted said Redacted may be the primary source of Redacted on U of I campus and dated Kernodle at some point. Redacted had also been kicked out of Redacted was not currently attending U of I. Okay, what did her ex-boyfriend get in trouble for? Anyone know? Does anyone know who Xana's ex-boyfriend even was? Because I sure as hell don't know who it is. But apparently, from what I'm reading, I'm just putting the words together. I don't know. I could be actually fielding it up right now. But it says here, just close your eyes and picture this. Okay. This person is saying that this other, okay, so there's an interview, and this person is saying that this other person may be the primary source of something on the U of I campus and dated Kernodle at some point. That person also got kicked out of a sorority or fraternity and was not currently attending U of I. Or he got kicked out of the U of I. That could be University of Idaho. instead of like a fraternity. So primary source of what? Like French fries? I thought Ethan was her first boyfriend too. So that's why I'm like, this is kind of weird. Maybe they just dated for like you know how when you date someone when you're younger, like when you're 20, you might just go on a couple of dates with them or you might talk with them. Maybe it was something like that. Because I'm wondering what was the primary source of what? Like, could it be Adderall? Primary source of what do kids do on university campuses that are like, you know what I mean? Weed. I'm trying to think of, I mean, I know they do everything, but I'm thinking it's more of those kind of things, maybe. I want this recording. I'm gonna write that down. Let me write this number. Page. I'll just do the page. Because then I'll remember to go back to the page. Maybe. And then we can ask them if we can have the audio. Because will they redact the audio? I guess they would, but we want to know. We want to know what's up. Okay. So, okay, and that's all it says. Okay. Next person, age 22 male. He knew Gonzalez and Mogan fairly well through school and Greek life. This person went to the Corner Club at approximately 9 p.m. on Saturday, November 12th, where he hung out with a group of friends for a few hours. He listed a bunch of people, Gonzalez and Mogan. Gonzalez and Mogan left the Corner Club approximately 1 hour before he did. He left with, it's redacted, at approximately 2 a.m. and went to house on King Street and then stayed the night there at their house. They did not notice anything suspicious. He went to sleep around 3 a.m. and woke up at 11 a.m. While at the Corner Club, there was a male subject with shorter hair wearing a dark shirt and a U of I cap, and later put on a white and black plaid flannel. He was being excessive and was paying a lot of attention to redacted, but not necessarily to Gonzalez or Mogan. Redacted roommate was that night and was kicked the male subject out. Okay, this is so redacted. So, he had heard one of the roommates had a stalker, but he didn't believe it was Gonzalez or Mogan. And then he mentioned the Uber driver. He's known to give the sorority girls rides home from the bars. Sorority girls in particular, the girls contact on his personal phone and pay him through Venmo and not through the Uber app. Well, a lot of drivers do that. I don't know if I had a quarter for every driver or $1, I say, because it's probably probably need a little more than that even. But I've had multiple drivers, like where I live is really close to where I used to work. I mean, it's like a 2-minute drive and it's a 10-minute walk. It's not that far for me to walk, but, they would be like, here's my card. If you ever need a ride, like just call me. Cause I was always so nice and just sat back in the back seat and just didn't say anything. And it was literally the easiest money you were going to make. Easiest money. Oh, I don't know what I just did there. Okay. Just went down a little bit. So this is back where it was like, it says victim 1, victim 2, victim 3, victim 4 again. It has all the victims, obviously. Okay. This is the digital photographs of the pictures of the vehicles. So on November 28th, it says, I took digital photographs of the victims' vehicles located at 1122 King Road. All of the vehicles were unlocked except for the red Jeep Sierra Wrangler. Go to whoever locked the car. It was either Ethan or his siblings. Wearing nitrile gloves, I breached the evidence tape seal on the front door of the residence, retrieved the keys to the Jeep, which were sitting on the stairs, and unlocked the Jeep. Once complete, I returned the Jeep keys to the residence and resealed the front door with evidence tape marked with my name and the date. Copies of the photographs were provided to the Federal Bureau of Investigation to be used to determine what, if any, methods could be employed to download data from the vehicle's onboard computer hardware and/or software. The photographs were subsequently downloaded onto a compact disc and entered into evidence. Um, okay, so then the next one is another interview. It doesn't say the age or the person, though. Oh, yeah, it does. 20, female. Meridian, Idaho. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. But this person is a student at the University of Idaho, and lives that, and it's redacted. She stated she was friends with Xana Kernodle for 2.5 years and more recently with Ethan Chapin since he began dating Kernodle. She stated Kernodle would have a gathering every weekend or every other weekend, and she would regularly attend. She stated she knew who the other people at the house or the people who would usually attend the gatherings. She stated on November 3rd, 2022. Okay, I'm going to say that's probably 13th, but I don't even know. It probably was the 3rd. So let's see. She had gone over to Kernodle's apartment located at King Road in Moscow around 1 p.m. and was there for about 15 minutes. She stated everyone had then left and went over to another apartment commonly referred to as the redacted for a pregame party. She stated her friends and Kernodle then went to another friend's house named redacted, and her friends then attended the football game, and Kernodle decided not to go. Following the game, she called Kernodle at approximately 7 p.m. Kernodle stated she and her roommates were at their apartment taking a nap and would decide later if they were going to go back out. She stated when Kernodle would have get-togethers, she would usually invite men from the redacted and redacted fraternity house and girls from the 2 of the sororities. She stated her friend group would also be invited. She stated it was usually the same people from each house that would come. She stated she knew Kernodle occasionally, and it's all redacted. She stated she wasn't usually around when she would redact. She stated she had heard rumors of Kaylee having a stalker, but only had heard about it after the murders. Okay. She said the back door was always kept unlocked because the front door had a code and would usually lock automatically. She stated she heard of other rumors that one of the roommates had taken the dog out and someone jumped out of a tree at them. She said she heard another rumor that the killer entered the back door and was wearing a mask. She stated after the football game, she went home and eventually fell asleep. Okay, no bar for her afterwards. Okay, so this is the male, date of birth 94. Wait, hold on a second here. I know who's born in 94. Who is this? I only know one person in this whole group that would be born in 94, be Brian Koberger. Oh, they work together. Okay, that's why. I'm like, who would they know that was older than them? Okay. So it says, this person says they met while they both worked together and redacted approximately 5 years ago. He has been roommates with redacted off and on again for the past couple of years, but most recently a little less than a year. The other 2 roommates in the house and their redacted were a couple. Okay, that isn't it. So on November 12th at approximately 9:30 to 10:30, he and redacted went to Mingles after attending a dart tournament. So this is the person that had the dart tournament. Shortly after 11, they went to Mingles and went to the corner club. They were both drunk. He said he met with a girl named Redacted while at the club around 11:30 and did not see his friend the rest of the night. He was unaware of who Redacted was talking or hanging out with at the club. On November 13th, he got home around 1:24 a.m. and went to Redacted room and saw he was passed out. He was surprised to see him home so early because he normally shuts down the bar. He has known Redacted to get flirty and handsy with girls when he gets drunk. He is unaware of him getting kicked out of the corner club earlier that night. Sunday evening, they talked about the incident, and he remembers him mentioning that he had a marketing class with one of the girls. Okay. So this is I don't know what this is. Purchased somewhere. Video footage inside of is it maybe the Winco? Shows Gonzalez purchasing a fountain drink at approximately 1903 hours and exiting the store. The most likely vehicle Gonzalez departed in appeared to be a dark-colored mid-size SUV. The vehicle was associated with the purchase of $60 in fuel on pump 1 at approximately 1859 hours. The credit card used to conduct the purchase of the gas was associated to maybe Christy or Steve Gonzalez, since it's redacted. The receipts and the archival CDs were turned over to the Moscow Police Department. Okay. Okay, this is when they used the drone. So it says on November 18th, 2022, Idaho State Police, ISP, Detective Timothy Snell was requested to utilize a small unmanned aircraft system to photograph the exterior of the residence and surrounding neighborhood located at 1122 King Street, Moscow, Idaho, in relation to the homicide investigation. ISP Detective Andy Hodel assisted and assigned to be an observer for the UA's flight. We arrived at the residence at approximately 12:20 hours and met with ISP Detective Jeffrey Talbot to be briefed on the locations to be photographed. I noted the temperature was 29 degrees Fahrenheit, winds approximately 3 miles per hour with gusts up to 9 miles per hour and visibility of 10 miles. I used an ISP issued Phantom 4 UAS registration number and gives it to obtain aerial photographs. I concluded photographing at approximately 12:50 hours and exited the crime scene. Upon returning to the Moscow Police Department, I turned the media containing the photographs over to ISP Detective Hugh Powell to be downloaded and retained. End of report. This is somebody they interviewed that was a male, 21. Okay, this is just talking about vehicles at a house. I was just reading it really quick to see if it was important. It's all redacted. We're not going to know who was getting in the car with who. Okay, we're just going to go over that one. It's surveillance. It looks like they caught. Reporting party. Date of birth, 91, age 30. On November 18th. Okay, so, according to tip number 247, this person said they had supposedly exhibited stalking behavior and extreme fascination with females in the past. Okay, according to the tip, redacted changed his name. Okay. They attempted to call the person providing the tip, but she did not answer the phone. We went to see if anyone else had knowledge of redacted. The manager and the worker did recall redacted. And they recall observing stalking behavior firsthand. They did not have any further knowledge beyond these events. They were also told us about a college-aged male and female who had come into the store asking for a K-bar and then left immediately after learning that they did not carry them. Well, that was probably someone afterwards, right? After the crime, they probably wanted to know what it looked like. Okay. Redacted called my phone and we spoke with her for about the tip she provided. She confirmed awkward and stalking behavior directed at her. She also informed us that Redacted had actually stalked another employee until that person had gotten a restraining order against him. Wow. Awesome. So Redacted did not ever observe any violent behavior or acts, but had become more worried as Redacted had begun to purchase more knives at the time as time progressed. Okay. She left the employment there. She was not aware of any of the relationships between him and any of the victims. She was unable to provide any details. So simply heard rumors. Okay. Okay. Give me just 1 second. I just have to grab something to drink really, really quick, and then I'll be back. Give me like 2 seconds. Okay, thank you. Let me grab my glasses too, actually. That'd probably be a good thing. I probably won't read too much more, but we'll read for a few more minutes. Okay. Hey, Felicia. Hey, Ashley. Welcome in. We ain't got no quit. We ain't got no quit over here. Mhm. Okay. So let's continue to read. Okay. So this one is an incident. It says on November 25th. When was the incident? Okay. On November 26th, I Detective Mark Hewlett spoke with Redacted. The phone call occurred around 11:08 a.m. and they gave the phone number. They submitted a tip regarding a man she had met on Tinder. She told me that she had met 2 times with redacted fictitious names at her apartment in Spokane, Washington. She advised that both meetings were short in duration. Sorry. She advised that the male she had met was the same male as the male in the photos that she had submitted with her tip. What? What's this lady talking about? It says she advised. Okay. She met. Okay. Hold on, I'm reading this again because that sounded weird. She told me that she had met 2 times with redacted fictitious names at her apartment in Spokane, Washington. So she let them come to her apartment. She meets guys up at her apartment off a Tinder. My goodness. Okay. she, she advised that the male she had met up with was the same male as the male in the photos that she had submitted with her tip. She advised that apart from her tip, she didn't have any further information that wasn't mentioned. I asked if she believed that the male could have some behavioral or mental issues. She told me the male seemed very sound and very intelligent. Ah, who could it be? Who could it be? Hey, Marcy. Oh, thank you. Look, Marcy said, just wanted to give out a shout out to all of you titanium buddies and help initiate a goal since I have been MIA. Oh, Tanya, I just got here. Hope you had a great weekend. I did. And I hope you had a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you, Marcy. I mean, that kind of could sound like Brian, huh? It says that she advised that the last time she had met with the male was Tuesday, November 22nd. Nah, well, you wouldn't have been in town. Kelly advised that the male had told her that he owns redacted. I advised Dr. Shiwak of this information, and the incidents at my level are closed and further interviews will take place in person. Okay. I like reading the tips. So this is issued the 2 above incident numbers to me on November 26th. Okay, let's see. So I called Redacted who called in a tip. There was no answer, and I left a voicemail with my phone number. On the same day, Redacted called me back and told me what she had mentioned in her tip was what she had heard from her friend's granddaughters. Oh my good golly. It's going to be fun. These are going to be fun. I heard it from my friend's granddaughter. Redacted did tell me that she would try to get her friend to have her granddaughter call me to confirm if this was firsthand knowledge or if the information had been rumor. On November 27th, around 16:38 hours, I called Redacted to follow up regarding our previous conversation. I left a voicemail. She's like, she didn't answer now. She's like, that little girl lied to me, or little boy. Or it was a little girl because it's a granddaughter. Later the night of the November 27th, they called back and told me that she hadn't spoken to her friend yet. I relayed this information to Detective Shewick and advised him that Redacted had only third-party information and that this incident could be closed. So then called someone else who had a tip regarding a man she met on Tinder. I left a voicemail later that day. They called back. She told me she had met 2 times. Okay, fictitious names. We just read that. Both meetings were short in duration. Advised that the male she had met with was the same as the male in the photos. I'm seeing if there's anything different. No, there's not. Okay, that was just in there twice. So then this person, the assistant manager somewhere, was present and allowed Detective Nunson and I permission to view their video footage. So the camera view from a camera that showed White Avenue revealed no vehicles that matched the suspect vehicle. We also reviewed the video from the camera that shows Mountain View Road. There were no vehicles that matched the suspect vehicle present. Okay. And then what time is it? Okay. On November 26th, they called someone else to set up a time to pick up their surveillance video. There was no answer, and I left a message. Later the same day, they went to the location. A sign on the management door advised that the office is open Monday through Friday. On November 28th, Detective Nunson and I went back and they met with someone. We looked at the only camera at the front of the store. So they advised that this camera shows the crosswalk area directly in front of the store and advised that there weren't any other views. And then another tip to retrieve surveillance, another 2. I was able to get in contact with Redacted, who is over the security camera system at Redacted, Moscow. Advised that he will contact the store to let them know that we would be coming to look at the video footage. They went in. We were advised that we were unable to log into their program and to come back on Monday to get the video footage on November 28th. And then they did go back and they downloaded 2 small videos of white passenger cars that were driving north. I turned the USB drive over to the detectives. Okay. The caller was anonymous on this one. I called the phone number on the tip and left a message. The person that left the call, they advised that Redacted was very close to the victims and survivors and that she had previously been at the residence the homicide occurred at, but left prior to. This person provided me with the phone number for the stepmom. The caller wanted to remain anonymous. So then on November 28th, I called the phone number and left a voicemail at 9:20 on the same day. The stepdad called me regarding the voicemail I had left and provided me with the phone number. On November 28th at 9:34 a.m., I called Redacted. During the conversation, I wrote down her date of birth, her address, and phone number. I told her that a detective from Boise would reach out to her to set up an in-person interview. She was very willing to speak and help. And then this tip was regarding a photo of a male with a beard at the Grub Truck Hub in Moscow around the approximate time of the victims were also at the Grub Hub. The male in the photo has a large knife on his hip. What? Advised he doesn't go out to the bars, and when asked about the Grub Truck, I think that's supposed to be Grub Truck. He advised he didn't know what that was. Advised he does not carry a large knife on him and proceeded to show us a small pocket knife that he had on his person. He advised that he had a few other larger collection knives. I saw 2 of the knives and advised that the other was a sword. Wow. It says, that he's too big, for the person that they're looking for. Okay, let's see. I'm just going down for a minute. Let's see. Okay. We'll stop it there. Yeah, okay. I was just making sure we weren't stopping it in, like, a weird spot, but I don't think we are. And then hopefully, I don't know exactly, like, in the documents where everything is, but hopefully we'll start to hear some more from, like, the colleagues and stuff that he worked with, because I know those are supposed to be pretty interesting. I thought about printing everything out like Brian Enton did, but he went to Staples to do that because I think that's a smarter idea than to try to print it on mine, since mine's like, I forget how much it is per month, but like I only get a certain amount of pages, so it'd be easier just take it to like Staples or something, you know? Yeah, email me again, Otto. Yeah, for sure, because I couldn't find your email, and I know you've emailed me before. I know we've emailed, and I put it in your whole name, and I was like, why isn't this coming up? Idaho State Police, Marcy. Oh, there's so many documents. Thanks, Otto. I haven't really been out in the sun too much, do I? But I do look dark. Just looked at myself. I was like, just looked at myself in the camera. It's that makeup. That's all I'm wearing is just a little shimmery makeup. But I do look pretty dark. Maybe it's the blue color or something. I don't know. I called him, what did I call them last night? Idaho State Patrol, though. I called him Idaho State Patrol last night. It's all the same, right? It's all the same. But look, we all could answer that one. We're like, we know that one. We know that one. I don't know if there was anything that's popped out today that I haven't seen. I don't think there is. I love it when people do that. They will post something on. I went to Twitter and like they won't let people comment on that. I hate that. Let's see if there's anything in here what are they saying about Brian today. I'm surprised it's not on my drop down list. That's surprising. I still can't get over that video that they released or that someone took from the jail, because you can tell at the end of that video too. I meant to tell you guys this last night. Not only is he like in the medical part of the jail, I could tell that, but what was I going to tell you now about him? Oh, you can tell that somebody had taken it from from their cell phone, because at the end of the video it pans down and you can see the bottom of the monitor. I thought that was a camera. I'm like, why is that camera acting all crazy, like zooming in at the perfect time and zooming out and like doing all those things? And it's because it was someone's cell phone. Right, Ashley? I hate it when people do that. Anonymous post. Or that, like in my case, it's comments. It'll be comments and it'll be like user, and then it'll have like a dash like X43, whatever. And I'm just like, come under your real name. Just kidding. I don't know how to say that. I should. It is, isn't it, Cheryl? We're learning so much. Right, because people want their words out there, but they don't want anybody to comment on their words. Don't comment on my words. I know, PKC. I want to see those ones. I'm ready to see the. I know I know we'll end up missing something if we skip around, though. I know I'll end up missing something. I always like to read all the documents to you guys, or at least go through them to where, like, if you need to, you can pause it and you can read, or But I think we've went through. I think we've went through them all. I want to go back and count how many documents we've actually read. on this channel for just this case. Right? They're the keyboard warriors. They need a job too, Ashley. That's their job, to be keyboard warrioring it up. If you guys ever just come to my comment section anytime you ever want to be a keyboard warrior, and you can, I mean, there's always a comment you could see and be like, Someone told me today that they were smart enough to read the documents. They didn't say they were smart enough to understand them, though. But then they asked me, like, what schooling did I have? And then I was going to tell them. And then you know what I did? I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like doing that. I like this big comment back to him. And I was like, no, not really feeling that need to do that. I said, I went to school. I got my bachelor's in criminal justice and applied science. I have a couple degrees. And I've read a few documents in my day. Just a few. They are, Otto. That is, I showed the email to myself. They emailed me that. I would not have believed it if it did not come to myself. Thanks, Ishi. So Otto, they are. So what they were doing was okay. This is weird because I don't even know how this is even happening like this. But normally when you put in a FOIA request, you put it in for a certain, county. Like, so I put one in for, Pullman. I put one in for Moscow, Ada County, or Latah County, sorry. Ada County, Monroe, if I didn't say that one already. Normally they will just send you one back, right? It'll say this is from Latah County and this is how much you owe. This is how much videos we can give you. But they were clumping them all in, and that's what they were charging the $20,000 for. So now that we've gotten ISPs, Pullman went ahead and released all of theirs because they said there was such a demand for them. We only have one place is holding back, as far as I can see. When's Brian getting released? Oh, probably in the next 70 years, maybe, if he's lucky, and it'll be by way of a pine box. Actually, he's never getting out. He'll be buried on that lot. He'll be buried there. So you're welcome, Play Nice. He'll be buried there. He'll be, do they have a graveyard? They have to. Because that's where they have the death chamber. I mean, right? So if they have inmates die, they don't let them probably. I mean, I don't know. His parents are going to die before he's old. Let's be real. They are. They're older. They're in their upper 70s, or 70s. Maybe not upper. They're in their 70s. I think they're close to or in the 70s. They're going to die, and all of his fans will end up dying out. So do you think anyone's going to pay to transport him over that little correctional line and put him on this side of the bars to bury him? Hell no. They're going to say pine box. I mean, I guess if you are buried in a crappy box like that, I mean, the bugs get to you faster. Oh, the fire. I don't know about that guy. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I just know that Brian did it. He said he did it. Yeah, he said he did it. He said, my name is Brian Christopher Kohlberger, and my number is 163-214. I killed Kaylee Gonzalez. I killed Madison Mogan. I killed Xana Kernodle, and I killed Ethan Chapin. And then I took a seat because my ass was tired. And then I got up and I walked out the back door. Yeah, why did he get himself killed for like that? That's a good question, Ashley. Why did Brian get himself killed and not faster? I mean, I would have taken the firing squad. I would have said, put me on cell block with Chad Daybell. But that's I mean, he really did it to himself. Like, oh, I'd hate to be him. And then I wonder if he knows that part of his prison video has been leaked. Like, we can actually say that's not an act, right? Like, it's not an act. I'll give him that. He really is. I don't think he's OCD per se. I didn't see anything OCD about that video. Like what? They give you Crocs in the jail or in the prison for you to wear for shower time because there are things in the shower that shouldn't belong in the shower that happen in the shower. So they give you shoes so you don't come out there with your feet all nasty. So why would he clean off his shoe and then put that rag, instead of throwing it in the trash can like a normal person, why did he save it with his clothes and everything he wears and he puts on his body? An innocent man would never plead guilty to four counts of first degree murder with no chance of parole and a count of burglary. He even got the burglary on there. Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't want the DP. I figured he'd want to be alone. If not just for the death part, because I think that part is scary as shit. Like if that was me, I would be like, I don't want to go to court. I didn't do this, or but no, he just messed up. Did you hear what he said? He said when he got arrested, which the parents is fine. I'm not going to say nothing about the parents, but he was happy that his parents were okay, and he was happy that they didn't do anything to his dog. I hate people I hate that so much. It reminds me of Chad Doerman. I swear that gives me crazy vibes. I do care about the truth because he told us. You guys have to be mentally deranged to believe somebody to not believe somebody when they're telling you something. So he's a liar? Okay, so Brian Koberger is a liar. Okay. So at least we got that. The system was not stop. You do not have to put it all in capitals. Rapper. Take the link, rapper. I'm gonna get off here in a minute because rapper. I want to see what you look like. I want to see who you are, rapper. You get to look at me. You get to judge me. Come on up here. Snatch that link. You just hit it. And then it'll ask you your name. You put your name in there. You don't have to put your real name in there. You can put rapper. No, I got it. I'm like, I got it. If I'm like this much on here, then I got him. It's usually rapper. The fire chief got killed in the same county. No, he didn't. You don't even, what county? What county? Give me the county. What county? What county? What county did this happen in? What county did he live in? What county was he arrested in? Give me a county. And then tell me where. I mean, I know. It's probably just rapper. Because BK is innocent. Did you know that? He's innocent. This is all part of his elaborate game. He is going to go to jail for like a few months, and then he's going to bust out of there. And, okay, now I will time them out because, don't call me woman like that. I don't like that. That's gross. That's gross. I'd let you have fun, but, but you can always come up and hit the link. Just because you're blocked in the chat does not make you blocked from that link. That link will still show up bright as blue could be. Changed her mind too, is she? Yep. BK's innocent. This is now the BK is innocent channel. And you know what we're going to talk about? BK being innocent. I couldn't even start that with you guys. I don't know how some of these creators do that to y'all, but I promise I'll never be one of them. If I see something's wrong, I'll definitely say something. But this case, this is what it is. People don't want to have to go back to the real life because this to them is entertainment. And this to them is that's what it is. It's purely entertainment for them to go back with the conspiracies back and forth, playing ping pong the last 2+ years. They didn't have to think about their own freaking real lives. Well, the case is going, it's almost over. We're hitting that finish line. You know what I mean? Like he is just a number. If you need to know, 163-214. And when we're done reading the documents, maybe we'll get some jail calls. That'd be great. If we can get the jail calls, I'll play them all day long. I'll have to see if somebody that lives in Idaho maybe can get them. But yeah. I mean, he would have gave us maybe a better alibi, if he was innocent. He could have, I mean, he wanted to tell everybody it was their fault. It was their fault. It was their fault, but he had no proof of that. The judge said, no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me that did that. I didn't hurt you. I didn't hurt you. It's some antipsychotics. And the Looney Tunes are out full force. No, and I kind of want to listen to other channels, but then I don't, because then I'll get mad. I feel like I'll get mad. Like I'll want to do like a debunking kind of video, and I just don't. I like doing those because they're fun as hell. They're so fun. But then I feel like people think I'm picking on them, and I'm not picking on them. I'm just picking on their words, And the moon is in full, right? I mean, there's like thousands of them though. Thousands of them. Yeah, Doodle. Hey, Claw, didn't you know this is the Pro Coburger channel now? Pro Burger. I can't even say it right now. Was he? I never watched Interview Room. I don't know why. I think it's because, well, I'm going to say this. Chris McDonough, those inmates that are in the cells around Brian Koberger, they are not hitting the doors to torment him. They are not doing that to torment Brian Koberger, because that's tormenting everybody in the block, right? They just want him to talk to him. They just want to talk to him a little bit. Hey, Koberger, we heard you killed 4 people. Tell us about it. That's what they want to know. They just want people to talk to them. I don't know. I think that a lot of it, like a lot of the documents are just getting misconstrued, but probably me in my head, Ashley, I'm laughing hard. It's just, it's nuts. Oh, it gives you a ducking point. I used to let it infuriate me. You guys haven't seen nothing. Ashley knows. Ashley saw it. She was here for the bad stuff. The bad stuff, I said. No, my first year on, and a Crime Kitty, there was a lot of people that were here. But you guys know I used to shut the crap down. Like, that's exactly what it is, Felicia. That's exactly what it is. Brian's mad because he is in a noisy facility now. He is going to hear noise for the rest of his life. He is never going to have a moment of silence. Shower? No. Shit? No. Shave? No. You don't get the moment of silence no more. You lost that. They're just welcoming him. Yeah, they're just welcoming him in. They're saying, tell us your story. He is notorious. I'd want to talk to him if I was in the jail. I'd say, hey, what'd you get in here for? I'd act like I don't even know who he was. And then if he's like, I killed them kids out of Moscow, I'd be like, what kids out of Moscow? I've been in jail. Yeah, they don't. Oh, I thought about going over the Moscow PD like interviews, because I've heard a couple that Bill Thompson's done, and I'm just like, you're out here on a whole like social gig. Like, I mean, it's just, I know he's allowed to open his mouth now, so that's probably a pretty nice feeling. But I don't know. I don't know. Issue, I can give them some stuff to do. They can start stargazing. Monet, that's a good idea. It was a long time ago, Otto, but it's, yeah, I've been, after I came back from that vacation, I did so good. Oh, and I forgot to tell you this little tidbit. So remember I told you about like Vincent's new like employment, like his new thing. He's got a really nice little new job. I forgot about this part. Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it on in. Listen deep. Listen. His new job, it's remote. I love him, but remote. I forgot it was remote. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna be so happy that he's home. But I'm just like, I told him, I said, God made 9 to 5s for a reason. And so he laughed. He didn't get it. And I'm like, but I'm gonna have you here all the time. And if I ever go live and I have an IT issue, I'm just gonna be like passing a note over to this desk because my IT guy's gonna be like right here. You wouldn't even see him. Like he could probably even sit there and pull his chair all the way out. You wouldn't even. I'm gonna put him there one night. You guys wouldn't even notice. The first time I get him to come on here, I'm gonna have him sit there and see if you'll notice he's there. But yeah, he told his mom today, so I wanted to tell you guys. But yeah, he got a new job at a hospital. Has an engineering position, and it's just he deserves it. He deserves it. He worked so hard to get to where he is. He was at a job he didn't love, but he made really good money, and we said we can do without. Without. Let's just get you into a position that you like. So he had been working at a new job for a year. And then today or Friday, he got the call back. He's so scared that he's not going to get it for sure. They offered it to him. He's waiting on his background check. I said, Vincent, you have nothing to worry about. He doesn't have anything on his background. I don't even know if he has like a seatbelt ticket or anything. So yeah, I wanted to let you guys know over on this side too, because I let you guys know on the other side, on the other channel. But yeah, he told his mom, and I was like, "What'd she say?" I said, "Did she say good job, Vincent?" And I said it like 3 times really fast, and he was like, "Yeah, she pretty much did." I was like, "See." And if you can hear Vincent's mom on the phone when she's happy, it's the sweetest feeling in the it's the sweetest feeling in the world. I don't know what it is. She gets so excited for him. She's a good cheerleader. Really? Can you see Santa Bill? Yeah. I'll go after your family. I'm really happy for him too. It's remote. Like I said, I completely forgot about that. When he said it again, when he said it, I was like, you're gonna be home like all the time. I was like, you're gonna have to like time yourself in here to keep yourself in here. He's like, no, I'll be fine. Well, God created those 9 to 5s for a reason. It gives us women that stay home, from work where we don't work outside the house and we keep such a tidy place. He doesn't know about my 15-minute cleaning method. He thinks I clean all day. Yeah, and that's what I told him. So he's been saying like, I just want to at least get another year or 2 out of my car. And I'm like, you can do that now, like for sure. Um, won't have to drive down there but a couple times in the beginning. And then yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to hook up his little coffee bar for him again. I built him a little coffee bar once and then he didn't really drink off of it. He will now. I don't know, Marcy. I'm gonna have to tell Nancy. I'm gonna have to be like, I'm sorry. Did you notice how everyone is trying to be Nancy though? In like I think 2 or 3 weeks. So he has to go back to tell his other job and then go right over there. But he gets like 4 times the amount of vacation. The jail don't want me. They don't. He does, Otto. He really does love me. What's the question, Ashley? Bad Santa. Did you see the BK video? I think Bethany might have money too. Oh, is that what? Yeah. I mean, I think with Bethany, we read up on Bethany and Dylan, and With Bethany, I believe with Bethany being in that bottom bedroom, it really, it helped her in a way, to kind of disassociate almost, because in a lot of the pictures with Bethany, and I wish this for both girls, but Bethany she went back to college. She went back to college. She went to like their formals and stuff. I remember she was in a sorority. She actually got like the prize or whatever it's called to be like the sorority girl or something, like the girl of the whole sorority. I don't know, the presidente or something. I don't know what it is. I've never was in a sorority, but she something big in the sorority, and she has a lot of pictures of her. Just I don't know. I'm sure she's going through a hell of a time, just like Dylan. But I think with Dylan seeing the murder and having that survivor's guilt a little maybe harder, she maybe needed the help a little more. And I don't even think necessarily she needed it monetarily wise, because I think Dylan's parents has money also. I think they're like doctors or something, but I think they set that up for her. I don't think they realized how big it was going to get. And I think that with it being so big, she should take that money and go back to school, or she should buy property with it. I really do. I hope she uses, I hope she gets the money and she can put it towards her future, because hell, Dylan, that's just, she saw a lot of stuff that night. You know what I mean? And for her to remember any of it, being that intoxicated. Oh yeah, he'll definitely file the motions. Yeah. He might file them. I don't know if Ann will. That's the only thing. I don't know how that works. I'm assuming he doesn't have a lawyer. But I'm going to jump off here. It's almost like the time we usually get off. What the heck? I was like, I'm going to get off here early. I'm going to go to bed early tonight, but it's only 11. It's still earlier. I haven't been sleeping that well. I don't know what's going on with me. So I was hoping I could like get caught back up on my sleep. I don't know. Ashley, she'll tell you. Doodlebug, tell her what to do all the time. Yeah. No one's going to pay her $200 fee. Yeah. I play one on TV. Do you really? Doodlebug, do you play it? Are you a mom on TV? Are you an actress? Don't even tell me that you are, and I never knew that. You could be my mom, Doodlebug. I ain't got one. I mean, Doodlebug, you're pretty awesome. I'll take you. I'm like, I ain't got one. My mama left me too early in life, but she left me in the right hands. She left me in your hands. That's almost. I'm gonna start telling everybody that. So I'm start blaming all my stuff on you guys. Like, you did this to me. I'm just kidding. That'd be funny though if I did. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. I'll probably be back on tomorrow. We may do a day live because it's Monday, and during the week they're easier for me to do the day lives. You was casted for General Hospital, is she? Oh, I could see you on General. My mama used to watch General Hospital. I was actually named off one of those people off one of those shows. One Life to Live, but there's like 3 that she watched. That was one of the 2. And then I forget the other one. Days of Our Lives. One Life to Live, General Hospital. That was my mom's jams. Those were her shows. Don't mess her while she's watching. Don't be messing with her while she's listening to her soaps. But thanks for being here. I appreciate it. My cousin, actually, before I get off here, she my cousin that passed away, she was in the Baywatch movie. So look at that. But thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys all tomorrow evening, if not tomorrow during the day. So if you don't have your alerts set to on, make sure they're set to on, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out.